takes us to 24, health insurance.
Yeah, like I explained in the open comments, I don't have anything just yet. I know I did the same thing last time. I kind of held it off to the end, but I just want to leave it. I don't want to TA it just yet. I don't have anything concrete in terms of a proposal at this point.
All right, Article 25. Let's see, we've added some language to D.
So they don't accrue currently? Probationary employees do not accrue now?
I think they accrue, but there's no limitation on use.
Okay. So technically, I mean, how
It takes away from a probationary period to have somebody absent from it. It's one thing to be absent because you're sick, but to take annual leave, you barely worked here, and
so a probationary employee now has the ability to accrue and use annual leave prior to completing probation?
my understanding is there's no limitation, language of limitation on that. I'm not sure how often it's come up, but this would mean that it wouldn't come up at all. It'd be addressed specifically.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll take a look at it.
Doesn't require much in 90 days.
Not much. It's a certain amount of hours per pay period,
Yeah.
and it's less when you're a newer employee.
I put in the collateral document, it goes back to the career service manual, and the career service manual says they take that money away from it if they use any of that time.
If they don't pass their probation?
Yes.
Okay. In other words, you got to pay back the county?
Yes.
Okay. So their proposal is that you just can't use it till you pass probation, I
Just
guess.
bank it and use it after your probation's up.
Still accrue it, but you can't use it.
Right. Still accrue it.
I'll take a look at it. And back to the idea of alphabetizing the articles, I would call one article leave, and then put all of the types of leave. Instead of having annual leave under A and military leave under M, you would have, you know what I mean, a section called leave.
John, when you have the Word version of the contract, I'll leave it to you to organize it. I don't think we would have any objection to whatever the format is of it.
Sure.
But I did start that process at the end of the last bargaining, and it ended up delaying how we would get to the ratification.
I understand. I remember we ran out of time.
But you're more than welcome to tackle that.
Right.
We had a nightmare of a time trying to do it. And part of it was what you just pointed out, is that, under the leave section, it would be leave, comma, something, or would it be annual would be at the very beginning, and health would be somewhere else. But however you want to do it, it doesn't matter. The contract.
Well, I don't think it's that complicated, but I'll.
Okay, you could cut and paste.
So is that the only change you have proposed for annual leave?
Just some language on page 21 in double A. I think there was a clause missing. This is really just grammar cleanup, I think.
Okay.
Medical leave.
So it's similar to the annual leave.
Yeah, pretty much. Just want to try to get people who are on probation to be encouraged to be here as much and as consistently as possible, so that they can get a good feedback, good work feedback, past probation. Okay, that takes us to 29, I think, right? We have a change in, on page 29 of Article 29.
Their own, in section B.
Right. That the donation can't be, it has to be for your own specific, the employee's specific need, as opposed to a family member.
It has the ability then now, is it currently, that they can take a, similar to FMLA?
Apparently, it hasn't been an issue, I think, with one exception, somebody had asked for it, but it was not their home. This is intended to clarify that. I'm not sure whether it was denied or not. Anybody know of that instance specifically?
This is when you want to take medical leave to assist a family member?
No, it's
Is
for
that what you're saying?
donation.
No, this is only
Just
on
for
the
donation.
donation side.
So in other words, if your spouse is ill, so your spouse doesn't work for the county, but you do, this will prohibit you from receiving a donation for your spouse.
Gotcha.
It only apply, right? Is that kind of captured?
Yeah, that's exactly right, John.
Okay, got it.
It's an employee benefit as opposed to an expanded family benefit. $35. We have language of clarification here that the annual leave that's being referred to is planned, meaning anticipated in advance and approved.
Yeah, because planned and unplanned was kind of at the tail end of bargaining, I believe, last time, where we separated the two.
And that is one of the sections of the career service manual that has some language that's been clarified as well, the planned and unplanned. The planned doesn't represent an issue for the county to administer. The unplanned is a nightmare, because then you gotta juggle people around, you have vacancies. It affects the work.
Well, unplanned still has to be approved, right? Or is that when someone calls up sick?
Yeah, I think that's when you call in sick is the unplanned.
You don't- you guys still have-
Plan a sickness,
Still-
you get sick, you know what I mean?
You still have
Plan it.
specific sick leave, or is it all lumped into,
No, it's all.
There's no PTO. It's all individual categories. And that's a category that's not listed here.
They're planned and unplanned, or
Yeah, there's planned and unplanned, I believe.
should put a time sheet? That would be helpful.
But I mean, I guess planned is if you're gonna go in and have surgery or something like that.
well, yeah, I mean, it's just giving
Sick.
advance notice and being approved. I'm gonna be out next Tuesday on annual leave, you know, and it gets approved, and as opposed to someone calling up sick one day. My question was, is there specific sick leave? I just don't recall, you know, or is everything lumped into one bucket called annual leave, or PTO?
No,
They're separate.
Yeah,
They're separate.
Okay.
And annual.
And the annual leave unplanned could be if their car broke down. They wouldn't use sick leave if their car broke down,
Right.
Okay.
something of that nature.
And then the sick leave can be FMLA or not, depending on if they have.
FMLA really gets in the weeds with the sick leave. You know, if you call them with a stomach ache, that's not an FMLA absence. That's gotta go through a whole different
Right,
process.
but if they have a chronic condition, that's covered by FMLA.
It would be if they put in the necessary paperwork and it was approved, yes.
Okay. And just so my side understands, it's distinguishing, the county's proposal is distinguishing if you had called up because you had a flat tire and I'm coming in late to work, or I can't come in today because I have engine troubles, put me down for annual leave, that would not be considered hours worked for the purposes of accruing overtime. Where if you had said, I have a doctor's appointment next Tuesday, and it was approved, and you took that day off, and you that would be considered hours work. Am I right in that?
That's a good summary of it. Okay, that takes us, I believe, to 39 promotions. You're gonna have some proposal on this?
Yeah, our seniority proposal kind of ties into that and overshadows it, and it would be in conflict with it. So, depending on where we end up with a seniority proposal, it's going to affect promotions. I just want to make sure that that's understood, that's all.
All right, so we should not anticipate C being part of your proposal to change that?
That's not really, you know, on the radar screen.
Okay.
It's more about openings and how those openings are filled and what's considered and that kind of stuff. But yeah, the monetary values, at this point in time, I don't have the intention of changing, but who knows?
All right. Voluntary transfers. This is just language cleanup here. Deleting of kind of a floating header on page 38.
Yeah. Okay, so you have a proposal on that too, right? Or is it just striking?
This is, yeah, I just struck the floating header, department/division transfer. There's no other substantive change to it.
Okay, I just need to take a, I've indicated that we may have a proposal on that. It's according to my notes, and I don't have one just yet, but I don't know if that ties into seniority, if it's not. So, the floating header is not gonna have any impact. Was there a previous header? Like an A, it was A and a B. A is just,
You know, John, this section probably started, well, I know it started as a cut and paste from the career service manual.
okay.
So I don't know whether there were other headers before we cut and pasted, but that one survived.
I understand. Stand by.
I understand an issue came up with respect to whether an employee working an extra shift or a weekend would stay or would come off of a standby list. This is intended to clarify that they may be designated as standby as well.
Okay. That supports
Was
the,
anybody involved in that?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
we will.
So,
Right.
I think this reflects,
Yeah,
this
it
reflects your
does,
point of view on it.
yeah, this supports our
Okay.
position.
I just thought since it, Barbara brought it to my attention that since it came up, it should be addressed and now
Sure.
deemed resolved, right?
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but since you did,
All right.
You can PA that one.
yeah. That's before he changes his mind, right?
Yeah.
When can we get the shift differential, right?
Okay, that's next, right?
Well, I don't think there's anything on call out there.
So we have a proposal regarding the emergency communications employees in a specific time slot. And their shift differential will be 7.5%.
Yeah, that was a result of a grievance settlement too. And most of you guys are aware of that, right? I mean, we'll talk about it in caucus.
All right, that takes us to 49, reduction in force. Just gonna guess that we haven't given seniority enough points for your satisfaction.
How did you know? Well, you know, now that times are a little bit better than they were, it wasn't such, you know, there was such a concern of layoff when the economy was, when we were in a great recession there. We're coming out of it anyway. But I just, again, you know, we have language in our seniority proposal that kind of reaches out into this too, so I just want to, it's not just purely about adjusting the points as much as you know, what happens when a person gets laid off and
So you'll have-
hopefully we're never gonna have to worry about it, but it's,
It's unlikely, but it's still important to have the article in there.
yeah. So, again, this is attached to the union's seniority proposal.
All right. Takes us to 52 holidays. We have a bunch of new language here. You know, the designation of holidays doesn't always mean it falls on the true holiday. 4th of July is an example of that this year.
Yeah, in fact, I've gotten a few phone calls this morning about this very issue.
But if for operational purposes, there is a division or a group of employees that needs to be designated to actually work on the holiday, this is intended to deal with a substitute holiday.
Can you give me a, how this would relate to what's happening today and, I mean, tomorrow and Saturday? 'Cause the 4th of July falls on a Saturday, it's being recognized by the county on Friday, right? Okay, so how does this new language, how does that impact, how would that impact? It's just that that department can name a different day or something, or?
Well, the county commission would designate it, not the individual department.
So what's that mean? You're saying that certain people that would normally have gotten Friday off, they're gonna say, no, you can't have Friday off? Is
That
what
could
this
happen.
means?
And there would be an alternate day for the holiday to be observed for those
Well,
people.
for example, in our case in libraries, we're not closed on Friday, but we are closed this Saturday, and we normally would be open. So nobody in our department gets an extra day, because Saturday is our normal work day. So we just get it as we get Saturday as a holiday. But we are closed on that day.
You're closed on Friday too?
No,
Because
no.
you're working on
Yeah,
Friday.
everybody else is working on Friday.
Okay, even though the rest of the county is
Right.
considered a holiday,
Yes.
how are you paid? Do you know how, are you paid just straight time?
Just a straight time.
Okay, is it, all right, that's unusual.
Because for for public service employees in the libraries, our week is Tuesday through Saturday. Some people in the administrative part of it are Monday through Friday. Some of those people will probably be off tomorrow. Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's look at the new E. Can you explain that to us, Jim?
Just to clarify that if the holiday falls on a regularly scheduled day off, you know, where they've taken a leave day, or they don't work that particular day, they're still entitled to the holiday compensation. Or they could receive another day off, if that could be worked out.
Who decides what other day off?
Well, it says with the permission of their department head, so there's some flexibility built in on an individual by individual basis.
On the days, for example, on the Mondays, when we normally have a holiday, because that's a lot of people's normal day off, we get to choose another day as a floating day. Sometimes it has to be taken within a certain amount of time. Like, for example, Labor Day. Labor Day has to be taken, we can take a floating day for Labor Day within that month of September, because it has to be taken before the new fiscal year starts.
Is any of that stuff written down, or is it just a,
I don't know.
It's just a
to tell you the
practice.
truth. I
Are
don't
you
know.
For libraries.
about following through, letting you take that day and that?
I think it can depend on your manager. I know my current manager is much better about it than our former manager.
So they give you a floating day you never get to use?
Some people. There are some you can take, just given that they generally fall Memorial Day. Well, it's generally Memorial Day, Labor Day. I guess during the winter it could be, you know, Columbus Day or something. And then actually, we've had issues where, because the county has used Staff Development Day on Mondays, because Monday is a normal day off for a lot of our department, we end up closing the library on Friday instead. And then that Friday becomes our day off.
Is there
So it's not
anything in
a
the
holiday,
career,
But although it often takes place on Columbus Day weekend.
is there anything in the career service manual regarding, when a holiday falls on a Saturday or Sunday, what the county would automatically designate it? Because we do have that in other places where if a holiday falls on a Saturday, the county will designate the Friday prior. And if it falls on a Sunday, the county will designate the following day, which is Monday. Or is it not in black and white? Is it up to the county every year to,
I don't think it's in black and white, but we can double check that during the break.
okay?
Under this proposal, like this weekend coming up, who would be paid overtime?